प्राण प्रवाह हो तुम, श्वास श्वास हमारा, सो हम है जो हो तुम, तो हम है जो हो हृदय बसहि हनुमान, हृदय बसहि हनुमान, हृदय बसहि हनुमान। प्राण प्रवाह हो तुम, श्वास श्वास हमारा, सो हम है जो हो तुम, सो हम है जो हो तुम, हृदय बसहि हनुमान, हृदय बसहि हनुमान, हृदय बसहि हनुमान। प्राण प्रवाह हो तुम, श्वास श्वास हनुमान, सो हम है जो हो तुम, सो हम है जो हो तुम, हृदय बसहि हनुमान, हृदय बसहि हनुमान, हृदय बसहि हनुमान।
नमस्ते।
प्राण प्रवाह हो तुम, श्वास श्वास हनुमान, सो हम है जो हो तुम, सो हम है जो हो तुम, हृदय बसहि हनुमान, हृदय बसहि हनुमान, हृदय बसहि हनुमान। प्राण प्रवाह हो
नमस्ते।
नमस्ते पवन जी। I think Urvesh ji दूसरी chat
What did you
sorry
say?
उर्वेश जी दूसरी chat पे शायद पूछ रहे हैं is the Zoom on?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Okay. Welcome to all of us together. Namaste once again. Let's begin with 1 minute of tuning in, and then we stay together on this. Let's bring our awareness to our breath, the flow of our breath, and tune in to this moment together. Welcome to Emma and Reena. They're also here, and all of us.
Namaste, Guruji. I was trying on the last week's link and I'm like, there is nobody here.
No, it is. We just make this link. I think I'll make a permanent link for this one. That will be
Yeah,
the.
that's what I was like, what's going on over here? And I'm
Mm,
nobody's okay, cool.
Perfect. So here we are, all of us. We are here, all old timers. Vimal Bhai, Urvesh Bhai, Archana ji, Emma, and Reena. We are all old timers, and just a few of us. And it does. I always wonder how true the saying in the Gita that of the many out of all only a few search me. Bhagwan says that, and even out of those few, only a few will sustain. Only few look for me, seek me out. Few sustain, and out of those few, a rare few arrive unto me. So our journey continues, and yes, we are the path is slow and boring from outside, but very exciting when you follow it. We make only a grain of progress week per week, day per day, and a grain put together leads us to where we have to arrive. And in this, the fewer of us, the better, because we can interact between ourselves, ask questions, and uh, if if the one who is being questioned is the one, let us say, for the moment, is playing the role of revealing or showing the light, so-called, to the one whom you put the question. And the questioner is the seeker for the time being. Let's presume it that way. It's almost similar to uh, a cow and the calf, which is drinking the milk from the mother's udder. And those who have noticed, maybe Urvesh Bhai must have seen such cows, and maybe Emma. Only few who know this, who have lived in a village, will know that a calf, when it goes to the mother's udder and starts taking the milk, the first few drops come in quite okay, but after that, it has to hit the udder with the head, আচ্ছা, exactly.
ওকে দাও বিনা করে চাহনে দেবে কিছু আনে দেবে ঠিক আছে না
So my mother just came in, which is great. We are talking about the mother and the child. So the calf hits the udder like this, like that. And then more milk flows out of that. The calf hits like that, and more milk, more fluid, and more easily the milk begins to flow. Same it is in a dialogue, in a situation like this, especially in a close group, tight group like ourselves, where we are committed to learn more. That the more we question, the more we engage each other, the more answers will flow from the source through me or through whoever is answering. If the question is addressed to Urvesh Bhai or to Archana ji, the answer will flow by the push of the question. And the entire Upanishadic tradition that we have, these days I'm studying the Chandogya Upanishad, is full only of questions and answers. Upanishad is all dialogues, all questions and answers not to be accepted, but answers to be questioned again, then still again. And same, not only it is it's not the student who is asking the teacher all the time. It is sometimes the teacher asking the student, and the student answers, and the teacher denies it and says, "Go back and look for it again." And the student comes back with a deeper answer. Then teacher sends back again, look for the answer, and the student comes back again. So between us, we must continue or we must engage in more questions and answers. And that will happen only when throughout the week our attention is on our journey, on this aspect of it. It has stayed with me. Sonia ji is not here right now, but in the last Zoom call on Sunday, not in the Saturday one, she had asked about. You remember we have spoken about the 24 petals, and we were talking about that in the other Zoom, and she asked, "Oh my God, these are 24 petals. We have to keep all 24 together in our head, and can we not work on one at a time?" Somewhat like that. And I have always been talking about all of them together. And the answer much later came to my mind was that therefore the simile is of a lotus. It doesn't come into bloom one petal at a time. It is not one petal will open, then the second, then the third. The whole lotus blossoms together like that. Together it blossoms. So all those qualities will blossom. They are all interrelated and they will all blossom together. And what Vimal Bhai at that time said, that all these 24 qualities, when we put them all together, it sort of reminds us that these are the qualities that we are headed towards. So we are headed towards blossoming. So let's and here we are on a revision trail, and revision trail starts not only from 0 but from -1, and the -1 is again to prepare ourselves, and then when we prepare ourselves, then we ask the question, what are we preparing for? It is like restarting our studies with a fresh start. And this time, once again, to remind ourselves of the syllabus, of the purpose of the syllabus, the big topics, then the small topics, and then we go into even deeper topics than that. But before I even start on that, a beautiful new sort of touch or a revelation, not so much revelation, because it's an old information, but it came in a very beautiful and a new way, was that all the time we are connecting our entire journey, we are basing it on the impulse of the Chalisa. And the Chalisa begins with cleansing the mirror of the mind. So that's our favorite uh, starting point. We have to cleanse the mirror of our mind. And for that, all of this Sri Vidya, etc., etc. But it occurred to me all the time when I used to speak about or refer to the mirror of the mind, even in my mind, the mirror used to be of a glass, like a glass mirror. And so mind is like a glass mirror, which I have to clean like this. Nijman Mukur Sudhar means to clean the mirror of my mind like that. Like there is a glass and my mind is a mirror and I have to clean it, rub
ये
it
ना
clean.
एमा हिंदी का तो है हिंदी में सॉरी
What are you saying? You said something? Please go ahead. Sonia ji?
nothing Pawanji, sorry, I'm sorry.
Acha, okay,
I
okay.
can't switch on, but
Okay, no
I
problem.
can't
No
switch on my
problem.
video, so yeah.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
So, cleansing the mirror of the mind. Look at this subtle revelation, understanding, or re-understanding. Yes, most of the mirrors or all the mirrors in our household are made of glass. Therefore, that is what comes to our mind. But it is talking about Nij, Man Mukuru, the mind mirror. So, what is the quality of the mind mirror? The closest quality of the mind is like that of a lake. So, the mind mirror that is referred to as Sudhar is twofold. One, that the water of that lake must be clean, absolute clean, no dirt. Number two, there should be no ripples. So cleansing and pacifying the mind. That is why it's saying pacifying the ripples of the mind is yoga. Yoga, chitta vritti nirodha, approximately or close to approximation translates into nirodha means pacifying the ripples. Vritti of the mind means the ripples of the mind, the circling ripples of the mind, the rippling of the mind. Pacifying the rippling of the mind means, and that is yoga. And from there I got the sutra, because that's the first or the second sutra of Patanjali, and this is the opening statement of Chalisa. So it brings us, gives us a more pointed direction that A, this mind has to be cleansed. When the mind is cleansed, it is naturally restored to its purity. Another very beautiful insight is that the mind stuff itself is purity, sattva. The mind, mahat, the mind stuff, the stuff of which the mind is made is of sattva guna. The natural quality of the mind is sattva. Rajas and tamas are modifications of the mind. They add to the rippling of the mind. Otherwise, the natural mind stuff is sattva. So for the mind to revert to its natural state is what it seeks. It seeks that cleanliness, the clarity, and peace, pacification. When we use the word cleanliness or cleaning, it refers, gives a negative reference to what is going on in the mind as dirt. But if we just refer to the positive side, that we have to restore the clarity of the mind and the unrippling or controlled rippling. Nirodha means controlled ripples of the mind. Controlling the ripples of the mind is yoga. So controlled ripples are the ripples to be so controlled that the mind is like a mirror, that it is reflecting the self. The mind reflects the self. The mind reflect that. So the quality of mind, therefore, such an emphasis on cleansing and such an emphasis on restoring. And we were talking about the 24 qualities. We'll once again go over it, and they are so natural. You will remember all of them any which ways. It's just and you'll find that they are the natural quality of every mind. It was just a conversation with Sadhnaji, and she was saying, she herself said it, and it is also a very common, very common example. Like we have to become baby, we have to have a baby-like mind, which plays with. If you give it a bowl of milk and kheer, it will play with it like that. And if it is past its shit, it will also. We have all raised babies. If you don't look at them, they're already patting the shit and laughing. They're not flinching. Their faces are not. They're also smelling the same bad, foul udder, but to them it is only an udder. It is not foul. As much as if you give them a bowl of kheer, they do something and throw it and play with it. They play with both without any flinch, and that is the quality of purity, which we'll call vairagya. They have not added any color of bad or good, and therefore like or dislike. And the whole drama is all about the like and dislike, as Patanjali explains further. So this was about the mind. The other thing is I have not drawn out on the paper. Probably I'll draw out and just share it in the mail, in the WhatsApp group. Once again, to bring ourselves to the point. So where we are on the journey to beautify ourselves, to make ourselves more beautiful, more blossomed. And why not? It's our right to blossom. It's our natural impulse to be beautiful. And nowadays, babies, they are toddler cosmetics already in the market. Children as young as 9 years, 5 years, 7 years, girls are buying expensive cosmetics. There is a range of cosmetics for toddlers. It's called baby blush. There was a song in Hindi which used to say, "Baby ko base pasand hai." Now we can say, "Baby ko blush pasand hai." Baby blush is a whole cosmetic range. So from the baby's urge to look beautiful, or the parents' urge to make babies look beautiful, however, until the point to look beautiful even after I'm dead, which is how the mortuary services in UK and US is, that they make you up even after you have left your bodies. The urge to be beautiful, to look beautiful, to be nice. In fact, that is exactly the reason why many times we become hypocrites and we speak lies. We don't speak the truth. Even if we don't like a person, we say, yes, you are so nice. Or if we don't like the food, we still say, your food was so nice. Just to look nice. We want to look nice, come across as nice and beautiful. This is our natural urge. So all we are doing is we are taking our natural urge for beauty very seriously and deeper. That's it. The natural urge to look beautiful, we are going to beautify ourselves, but not only at the level of skin, deeper, at the level of muscles, tissues, bones, blood, deeper, at the level of prana, deeper, level of mind, deeper, level of cognition, deeper, at the level of intention, at the level of impulsing itself, the very urge itself. All of that will become sundar, beautiful. And so we are on this path. We call this path Shri Path. It means exactly the same. Path in English means path. In Hindi also means path. Same thing. It means a way. And here I would say that what Tao says, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. When the traveler is ready, the path appears. That's the saying of the Tao. So we have to be ready for the path to appear. Otherwise, it will seem as if we are talking about a story or we are talking about an interesting game, a mind game. But it won't look like a path. A path is something that invites us to travel on it. Otherwise, it is only a sight, not a path. Suppose I'm sitting in a balcony and having a cup of tea, and there's a busy street, and I'm retired or not retired. Then, whatever is happening on the street, that street is not a street for me. That street is only an entertainment, a place where some things are happening, like a movie. I'm sitting and having tea. If there is a ambulance going by, somebody. If there is a barat going by, somebody is getting married. I'm only watching it. It's only when I prepare, get ready, step out, sit in the car, ignition on, the path appears. Now we see. And from the micro, if there's a tree, we have to back out a little, then turn, then get on it, then start the Google, then look at it, traffic, this, that. That street becomes a way only when we step on it. And we step on it only when we are prepared. We just don't get on the street. We get on the street fully prepared if we are a good traveler. So we are on Shripath and we will follow Shri Vidya. We have heard this over and over again. But here we are only to prepare ourselves. The moment we prepare, the particular path of Shri Vidya will appear. So in the first level, we are only going to prepare. When we talk of the path which will pull us, that path is the path of sadhana, very particular Shri Vidya sadhana, or a particular personal practice that will appear according to our preparation. For some, it will appear in form of a garland of mantras. For some, it will appear in the form of just a simple name of God. For some, it will appear in the form of nothing, just meditation. For some, it will appear, I don't want to do nothing. I'm already blossoming and happy. I just want to serve. It will appear in form of only providing services. We do not know in which form it will appear or a mix of them. But preparation for all who want to walk the path is the same. And it is such that we will start at such a level that it's something like whether we step out of the house or we stay in at house, some basic things like brushing the teeth, taking a shower, wearing a clean set of clothes, having the breakfast, having some tea, no, this much, this little bit is common whether we are getting on the path or staying at home or working from home or waiting to receive somebody at home. This basic thing is going to be the same. And we are going to do exactly this basic stuff here. And once we do that, automatically the next level will get revealed to us and will go very, very slowly. So this is one thing. And a quick other thing is that we will then, our preparation, like in the morning, there are at least 2-3 things that we prepare. One is going to the bathroom and all the stuff, toiletries that we do in the bathroom. Then there is one set of things that we have to do, which is dressing up, whatever appropriate dressing up is. And third is something to eat, breakfast. At least this 3 things one must do, has to do. Otherwise, your preparation will not be adequate. Similarly, on this path, 3 things. Brahma Vidya, understanding the self. Who is it who is seeking this preparation? What is it that needs to be prepared? What needs to be changed? Which clothes have to be changed? Which clothes have to be worn? Night clothes have to be taken off. New, fresh clothes for the day have to be worn. Teeth has to be brushed with toothpaste, and hair has to be cleaned by the shampoo. This basic understanding is necessary. Understanding. So that is Brahma Vidya. We will have to indulge in that. We will have to pick up few things in it and study. And in Brahma Vidya, our go-to text will be the Bhagavad Gita. We have already had a taste of it. This time in this season, we will do a little deeper study of the Gita and one or two Upanishads, sections of Upanishads, Kathopanishad, especially the story of Nachiketa, Chandogya Upanishad, the story of Narad and Sanata Kumar, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the story of Saptahana Brahman, these 2-3 Upanishads, little bit of Bhagavad Gita, and very little of Brahma Sutras. These will be our topics under Brahma Vidya, which will give us a flavor of who we really are. It is like, and sometimes even that is just enough to wake us up. So it is showing a mirror to our conscious self of who we truly are, Brahma Vidya. The other topic will be Sri Vidya particularly. In fact, Sri Vidya is the overarching Vidya. I feel all of these are part of it, but if we have to segregate Brahma Vidya, then the central core heart of Sri Vidya, and Sri Vidya will include all the practices basically around the Sri Chakra. The first layer will be preparatory layer. At that layer, we will create, the goal of that will be appropriate vesselhood, patrata. That will be our goal of our sadhana. The goal of our sadhana will keep very small goals. The goal of our sadhana will be patrata, vesselhood, cleaning the vessel, preparing the vessel. That is going to be our first goal, because the moment the vessel is prepared, nectar flows. Meditation happens. Meditation is a state, it's not a verb. Meditation happens moment the vessel is prepared. So Sri Vidya will be our practices, and important amongst that will be Sri Chakra. Sri Chakra will be our compass, will be our mirror, will be our guide, will be our beauty kit, will be also the center of our worship. It is at the same time the abode of our Divine Mother, Lalita Mahatripura Sundari. At the same time, that Sri Chakra is our own abode. We live in the Sri Chakra. We are all aware Sri Chakra, how it is composed. We'll go into it. But a square, circle, petals, triangles, and the dot, that is where how our inner space is. When we live in it, so we'll clear it up, we'll restore it in the best blossomed state. And the whole world outside our skin, the whole world out there, how are we receiving it? How are we interacting with it? How is it impacting our inner space? The Upanishad, again, Chandogya Upanishad, again, very beautiful. It says, our mind is directly shaped by the food we eat. The food we eat. Yes, the literal food we eat shapes our mind. Yes, but also when we understand what we mean by anna, it says, Jaisa anna, vaisa man. Anna means food, man means mind. How the food, so the mind. Now here, food is not merely the food that you put in your mouth, but all the foods that is taken through the eyes, the ears, the nose, all the data that we eat, all the data, audio data, visual data, all that we put. If that is not in control, if we have no control on our diet, I think one can forget much about restoring the mirror of the mind. If continuously if there is no way to control throwing stones in the river, in the lake, how can the lake become placid from within? Continuously we are throwing something. So I'm still visible. Okay. There is the electricity has gone, and I hope the internet continues. I'll again restore it, refresh it. So the big thing is the input side of it. What we bring from outside to the inside through the 4 gates. And this will be our primary practice. If we master this primary practice, rest of it will be a cakewalk of controlling the input. We'll deal with managing what is already the chaos which is inside the mind. But how do we deal with what is coming in? What kind of filters we have and the guards we have at the 4 gates of that Sri Chakra that we dwell in. So that will be Sri Vidya. So we have Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of the self, practice, the self-practice, and the third will be Karma Vidya, which will be about how do we work, how do we live and go about in the world so that we do not add more karma, and what do we do with our past karma and the imprints of that. We cannot just wish it away. It has to be, there is a system, we'll follow a system by which we'll cleanse, will untattoo the imprints of our past karma. So these will be the 3 things that we are going to do to prepare ourselves to come to stage 0, wherein we say now we are ready, whether we journey or we stay at home or work from home or just see a movie at home or go meet a friend or go to work. This will be then we will arrive at the 0 state. With this, I will pause here and let's chat.
Oh, when you were saying that, the thing came in about mirror, not the glass, and immediately the second thing came in was water body. But when we say the symbol of water body, the dust, how do you clean it? You settle it at the bottom of the water body.
No, there is no. There will be no dust on water body. Remember what we
Yeah, that's what it is. To clean it. Moss.
The moss will be on water body that covers it, which is referred to as avidya. That is one thing. The other thing, of course, you are right. You are absolutely right. The dust, which is the mud, which is there in the water,
yeah,
which makes it mucky.
Mucky.
There we will follow the Buddha. You remember what Buddha told Ananda? Ananda, I'm thirsty. Get me water from that stream. And Ananda goes to that stream and a cart goes there like that. And the water becomes muddy. So he comes back again and again. And he says, no, I want the water from that stream. Go wait there. So when a cart would pass away and Ananda kept waiting, just by waiting, the dust, just by observing, the dust settled. So there will come the self-witnessing, observation, and the other dust, which we are talking of, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, etc. Those will have to be dealt with. How do we cleanse the mirror?
That's why, yeah. So that's the idea was coming, is that we use alum to settle the dirt in the bottom. So that alum can be our practice or our awareness.
Absolutely.
Which will settle the mud at the bottom.
Yes, absolutely.
But for that, we have to stir it up first. So it will become much more darker.
Yeah.
It will become much more muckier and dirt. That's what meditation does it.
Yes.
Is that it stirs up everything, the emotions and everything, so at a heightened space that some people leave it there. And then they said, no, I can't deal with it. And some people wait because the alum takes its time to work and settle it down.
Yes.
So that is what was coming, when you were talking, that's the thought process was going on in my mind, that's exactly how it works.
Yes.
So we have to
You're
use our
absolutely right.
practice as an alum.
Yes.
Yes, it will stir up, but then we should have that faith that it's going to settle down.
Yes. And that is why you are absolutely use the right word, faith, Vishwas. You'll be amazed that in a very intense conversation between Sanat Kumar and Sage Narada, which we will take up, uh, Vishwas, Nishtha,
Yes,
is at the highest, is considered the highest state, not even virtue. It's a state of mind, the state of deep faith, Vishwas, state of deep faith. And there then these two words, twin words arise, Shraddha, Vishwas, trust,
yes.
faith. These are also again very approximate translations, but yet these are close enough translation to understand. And we have to understand the difference between trust and faith. Interestingly, trust mostly or totally depends upon the one you are trusting. Suppose you trust me by my behavior. You have known me for 5, 6 years. By my behavior, you trust that I'm a good person, right? This Shraddha. But this Shraddha is based on my behavior. Suppose I do one stupid act and you'll say, ah, ha, ha, we trusted this man. Look what he's done.
Fallen.
Your trust breaks. So your trust is dependent upon my behavior. The trust is dependent upon the trusted. So therefore it is dynamic. But faith depends only on
Inward.
yourself.
Yes.
Whatever I may do. So trust itself turns into faith. It is milk itself turns into ghee. But trust, the
Journey.
faith is at another level where faith is totally upon the one who has the faith. Example of faith. Job, the story of Job in Bible. Probably Maheno and Emma will know about it. The story of Job. It is said that Job was a great king, and then God came and tested him, and then he took away all his kingdom and everything and threw him, and he has his body full of ulcers, and he was sitting on the ashes of his own palace and putting ashes on his sons were burnt. He was just finished. And yet when God came around and he came and God was in a form of someone, and he probably said something against God, and Job reacted. He said, don't talk about my God like that. No? He didn't join in and said, yeah, God, I have lost it out. I had great faith in him, but this is what he's done to me. His faith is unshakable. Faith cannot be taken away. That is why trust, Shraddha, faith is above that. Shraddha, Vishwas. And the whole Ramcharitmanas begins, the second or third verse, the opening Mangalacharan, the opening auspicious statements of the Ramcharitmanas. Tulsidas ji says, Namami Bhavani Shankaro, Shraddha Vishwas Rupino. Bhavani, the mother, is called Shraddha, and Shankar is Vishwas. The mother is, Shankar is the substratum, unshakable, like a mountain, like Kailash, unshakable. And Shraddha is more dynamic. And it is a very beautiful phrase. It says, May, in Hindi it is said better, Tumhari Shraddha, it's a blessing. Tumhari Shraddha sada suhagan rahe. May your Shraddha always always be wedded. May she never be widowed. Do you understand? Shraddha's husband is Vishwas. May my Shraddha never be bereft of Vishwas. May my Shraddha, Meri Shraddha, Sada Suhagan Rahe, is one of the deepest or highest prayers or seeking we can seek in our daily prayers. So that has to be there, because once you start, as Urvesh Bhai said, karma gets, a lot of things begin to happen at the same time. Karma gets accelerated, people go into deeper mess because all, and we have a story that when the ocean was churned, the first precipitate was poison. The precipitate of churning is poison. When you take a cucumber and you do this, the precipitate is the sour, very unpalatable thing that comes out of it. And you have to chop it and throw it away. So the first precipitate is like that. Sometimes, if our meditation and our practices are in the right direction and God's grace is upon us, the first precipitate is a lot of trouble. Our faith gets tested, our trust gets tested. If that breaks, all the rest of the 25 preceding layers break down. And this is so interesting in that dialogue between sage Narada, a sage at the level of Narada, and he goes to Sanat Kumar. We have read about Sankadi, Brahmadi, Munisha. That Sankadi, the quadruplets of Brahma, the sons of Brahma, one of them is called Sanat Kumar, and says, "Sir, I've studied so much, I've understood so much, I've done this and that and that and that, but I'm not getting rid of sadness and suffering." And that's our question. And it almost goes up to the point that if your faith breaks down, you're back to suffering. And so our journey breaks the moment faith breaks. But faith breaks, we again restore it. That's why satsang. That's why staying together, holding hands together, encouraging each other. Today, I'm making very great statements. Tomorrow, my faith can get challenged, and others bring that faith back. Tomorrow, your faith may get challenged. All of us come together. The light comes on. So faith and trust in what? So trust is based on our best information. Understand this. Trust is based on our information that this is an airline, British Airways. British Airways is the reputed airline. It has the pilots who are trained, who are all certified, everything. This is trust. I can trust it to sit in it. After that is faith. Faith is always about future. I trust this airline to take me to another place. And see, sometimes these airlines crash. Air India crashed, Malaysian airline crashed, Boeing has crashed. That doesn't mean we don't sit in Boeing still. We still travel Boeing, we still travel, because our faith is still, it survives all the crashes. Same, it is almost the same or exactly the same on the path. The trust on the path. I am on this path, I've understood it, and that's why we are going to do -1 level of explorations. I've understood it, it is perfect, there's nothing I can question, it all looks good, it all makes sense. If I follow this path, I will reach the goal of my highest blossoming. Fantastic. That's the trust. Now the faith. Keep walking. Whatever happens, let the trust not become widowed. May our trust never be widowed. That's a negative way to say. May our trust be always wedded. Again, pause. In our next Sunday session, we'll do a crash into our syllabus. We'll just go whoop on all the layers in a quick snap. Today we are only just preparing again our mood for this travel, and yet there is so much to speak and share. So let us take turns to share our impulses. Mahan, you could join in a little late, but yeah, Priya, please, आप बताइए, tell us.
Namaste, everybody. So I have been with most of you all for quite some time. पवन जी के साथ तो बहुत सालों से है. Um, I met Pavan ji 2 weeks ago in Delhi, and my first statement to him was, "I'm done with spirituality. मुझे और कुछ नहीं करना है इसमें. I just want to leave it." And his expression was just like right now he is listening. No reaction, nothing. Okay, and that was my reaction to say कि अब मुझे spirituality से कुछ नहीं करना. It is जैसे अभी बात हुई कि it's a churn that we all go through. And my last 6, 7, 8 years have been a churn, right? And how we reflect, and I am I've slowed down when it comes to impulses also, I think. But Pawanji did not say anything why you should not think again, do this, do that. Nothing, no practices. He did not repeat anything. He only listened. We mostly, I think, need someone to just listen. And we all reflect back into what we said and why we said. And after that, I have had so many changes in my mind. So when you brought this topic up, Pawanji, in fact, I must say, I just realized I'm a clingy person by nature. So जो चीज मिल जाती है उसको क्लिंग कर लेती हूँ. काम मिल गया, प्यार मिल गया. I mean, sorry, in English, if I found work that I love, I clung to it. I made it my identity. If I found love, that became my identity. Now I found spirituality, it became my identity. And I was clinging to it. I just stood yesterday morning, I came across a status saying, love will change you. Love will change you, but it will not save you. Right? And while Pawanji was saying this, I realized I'm this clingy person. I was clinging on to spirituality. In fact, when I met Urveshi in Bombay, I was telling him and Anu the same thing, that I have totally, मैं बह गई हूँ spirituality में, उस पे ऐसे बह गई हूँ कि as if I've forgotten, even spirituality doesn't mean that even that asks for detachment actually. Not to cling, not to forget that I am also that soul, right? And that journey, we are on a journey, not we are the journey. We are on the journey, not we are the journey, right? So, and this came to me that spirituality, I mean, it's a word. I think it's an expression or an experience that we go through, or we feel, or we understand. It's a form. Like how we feel our mother's love, unconditional love, or how we feel our father's disciplinarian behavior, whatever. It's one more aspect of life, right? It's one more way of life. But then our karma, at least for me, this is my learning, that, and I know in another few more days, something else will, open up. And so Sunil ji and I have actually discussed this, that हम दोनों का तो खराब हो गया. मतलब हम दोनों का बिल्कुल खत्म हो गया. We don't think anything anymore. बस इसमें ही डिजायर्स खत्म हो गए, सब कुछ खत्म हो गया. We are just into this. But when I met Urvesh ji, there was something very different in him, where I realized he lives a very different life while he's so strong inherently in his practices, in his belief, in his faith. बट अराउंड हिम इट्स लाइक बीच में कुछ है, जैसे एक डंडा है उसके आसपास पे पनीर लगा हुआ है. आई डोंट नो हाउ टू से दिस, लाइक, राइट? Sorry, Mahano and Emma, if I'm sometimes going into Hindi, but it's like, he's very centered within, and aspas mein he has it. I'm sure he has his own emotions, and we all go through that. And ripples hote hain. If it is water, it is bound to have ripples, and we are born with it. So very beautifully, Pavanji explained like a child. It just immediately took me back to when my children were born. How they were like, right? सब कुछ खा लिया, सब कुछ में खेल लिया, कुछ नहीं पता what is good, what is bad. But when we have grown up, we have responsibilities towards our people, towards ourselves, and we are living in a social norm. We cannot say कि, at least I cannot say that I am taking my मैं अपने माला लेके I'm taking my mala and I'm going to the mountains. Spirituality does not mean that. It is becoming more aware of our everyday action, be aware of who I am, what we are. It's not escaping. I thought it was escaping, but it's actually the last, I think, few days, few weeks have been very, very opening